Right guys, let's talk macronutrients, macros, protein, carbohydrates and fats. Let's get stuck into it. As I said here, you've probably heard the word macros. Oh, what macros are you on, bro? Don't get too caught up in it, folks. It's not that exciting, but I thought it'd be interesting to explain everything to you nice and simply. You should already know exactly what is happening in terms of energy balance. You should have your calorie allowance set up and you should be tracking your calories. But in terms of calories, they are all made up of three building blocks. Protein, your body's kind of builder or repairer. You've got carbohydrates, which is your vehicle energy source. And then you have got fats, which a lot of people forget about. They tend to see the word fat and think that they're going to get fat. But you actually need fats in your diet for essential functions in the body. So protein, let's start with the big kind of slogan that you see branded over every single yogurt in the supermarket right now, which drives me a bit mental when you look in the back of it and it's full of utter nonsense, but that's for another day. 4 calories per gram helps build, repair, but also maintain muscle. I feel like a lot of the time people think if they eat protein, they're suddenly going to turn into Arnold Schwarzenegger. One of the most important things of protein is it keeps you satiated. It keeps you fuller for longer. It's almost like protein and fibre go hand in hand. They're great at helping in terms of digestion. So protein takes a while for your body to actually process and break down. Therefore, you expend more calories in that breakdown phase. And fibre obviously helps with that digestive process as well. So again, fibre keeps you fuller, protein keeps you fuller. If you're on lower calories or you're going into any sort of deficit phase, then you want to be leaning on protein as much as you possibly can. And what I always say to people is if you don't look after protein, you kind of just become a smaller version of yourself. You don't maintain and hold on to any of that lean body tissue. And I'm not talking about walking about like Arnold Schwarzenegger, like this guy, but I want you to actually look like, you want to feel for most people. They want to be lean, they want to be, dare I say it, toned, all right? So protein sources, beans, lentils, tofu, fish, seafood, chicken, beef, lamb, pork, turkey, eggs, Greek yogurt. You know the drill there. Carbohydrates, this is essentially your body's fuel system, 4 calories per gram again. And really helps with making meals enjoyable. If you have been creating any of my meals, you'll know that I like a wee carbohydrate, alright? So it's important to still enjoy these in your diet as well, and I'm going to show you loads of the little mechanisms that you can use along the way as well, but you can kind of just think of carbohydrates as your main sort of fuel source, especially when it comes to your sort of higher intensity exercise. So we've got grains, we've got pasta, pasta, how good's pasta? Bread, how good's bread? I will never ever tell you to stop eating these things, alright? Just so we're very clear, this relationship that we've got here. You've got tatties. Potatoes are fantastic. They're probably the lowest calorie, highest satiety base that you can find. In other words, they keep you full whilst also being fairly low in calories, so good one to bring in. You've got your fruits and then you've got your non-starchy veg as well. So the final little macronutrient is fats, 9 calories per gram. Again, don't get too bogged down in how many calories per gram, but the most important thing is you need to keep fats above 20% in your diet. So it's really important, especially for the absorption of vitamins and minerals, supports hormone production, maintains health in terms of your old noggin as well. So really important that you keep fats in your diet, all right? It does help with keeping energy levels at a nice level base rather than just going from this big high to this big low. If you are in that zone where you feel that kind of midweek slump or that midday slump, start looking at the good source fats that you're bringing in. So we've got nuts and seeds, almonds, walnuts, chia seeds, monosaturated fats, olive oil, avocado oil, salmon, mackerel, all the good stuff with the macronutrients on fat one there. So again, calorie breakdown, protein 4 calories, carbs 4 calories, and then fat contains 9 calories per gram. And I've written at the bottom here, this is why non-fatty foods are more calorie dense. They are packed more than twice energy into smaller amounts. understanding this helps you make informed food choices. So again, when you're walking around, the main thing that you want in your trolley is to have a nice selection of all of these. I always say that if you can follow an approach that is 80% nutritious, i.e. the sort of stuff that I would recommend on a diet, there's loads of variety there, but you've also got 20% left over for the food that you actually enjoy. 80% nutritious, 20% delicious. You can still have your chocolate, your biscuits, your wine, your Prosecco at the weekend. You can still have all that and maintain a fantastic, fantastic physique. Don't let anybody tell you any different. Simple targets for beginners. So if you're fairly new to tracking calories, I'm going to give you some simple targets that you can follow. So protein, they should be making up 25 to 30% of your overall calories across the day. And you might be looking at that going, geez, I'm never going to get close to that. Remember, we spoke about that bar. The bar doesn't have to start here. The bar should be starting down here. So if you're only getting 15%, that's just a wee project that you can work on. It doesn't need to be, I'm going to hit 30% straight away. It's going to take you time. It's going to take time to go around the supermarket, to make different selections when it comes to meal timings. It does take a little bit of time. But again, this is going to keep you fueled. It's going to keep you satisfied, and it holds on to that lean body tissue as well. The final little piece of the puzzle there is when it's going through that digestive process, it does, burn a few extra calories, which is always nice. Fats, keep above 20%. As I mentioned earlier on, really, really important in terms of hormonal function, brain health, just generally living a good life. So again, don't be dropping them too low. And then finally, the most flexible is make up the remainder of your diet by hitting some healthy carb sources on there as well. Your tatties, your fruits and vegetables, your grains, your pasta, your rice, get that in there as well. It's important that you enjoy that variety as well, and always leave a little bit of wiggle room for enjoying life as well. It's important that you do that as well. One of the big takeaways that I want you to be looking at here is don't obsess over exact percentages. If you're not hitting the exact percentage every single day, do not get caught up in this. You are not a robot. You are a human being. You're here to enjoy yourself, and you should not be dedicating your whole life to hitting an exact number every single day, because all that's going to do is create unrealistic expectations, and before you know it, you're going to hate the process, you're going to resent it, you're going to hate me, you're going to be messaging me on Facebook saying, see you, friends. Trust me, I get messages like that all the time. I'm like, calm down. Do you know what I mean? Get back in your box. Simple approach. Focus on protein first, keep fats above 20%, and enjoy your carbs. I think that's a really simplified approach to nutrition, and it works really well. We get clients, let's just say thousands and thousands of results now, life-changing results, results that are actually far greater than any sort of weight loss, because we focused on that old noodle as well as educating them along the way. Look at your weekly averages, not daily perfection. As I spoke about earlier, we're not looking for you to hit that number every single day. Just try and look at it as an average over the course of the week. What a sort of sample day might look like. So we've got 2 eggs, some toast, avocado. We've got a wee salad in there at lunch, salmon, brown rice, veg, Greek yogurt and berries later on in the day. Just keep it simple. It doesn't need to be overly complicated. You don't need to be going to some health supermarket and cooking some fancy swanky meal. The reason why I keep all my meals fairly simple is because I just like eating that sort of food, and also I think other people enjoy eating food that's tasty and doesn't take 4 days to make. So hopefully you're enjoying that. Make sure that you're tracking your progress. Again, whether you're using MyFitnessPal or NutriCheck to be tracking, make sure you're doing that, and start to observe, what is happening over a week-by-week basis. Is it that you're pretty good during the week and you're absolutely knackered at the weekend, or what is it that you need to focus on? And tracking is a learning process. It's not here to identify, look how rubbish I done the day. No, you understand that as you're going through tracking, you're educating yourself as well. You're understanding that you need to be developing understanding around calorie totals, around macronutrients, around portion control. That is really, really important as you get through this process, because the more you understand about that, the quicker you can step away from tracking. Tracking is something you use to educate yourself so that you can eventually stop tracking. That's the ultimate goal. You have it all now, so you've got energy balance, you've got your calories, you've got your macros, you have the foundation of building something very, very special. So as I say to everybody, consistency beats perfection every time. Focus on getting enough protein, keep your fats above 20%, enjoy carbs without the guilt that the world of dieting seems to tell us, and aim for 80% showing up, not 100% perfection. Your mission, track everything for 1 week. Actually, we'll make that 4 weeks. Observe your patterns, monitor your energy, identify gaps. So you should be weighing yourself on a daily basis as well. And then from there, understanding your weekly averages. All right, key takeaways. Again, please make sure that you're tracking your food. Note your natural macro patterns. Just start to build up a bit of a profile of what sort of foods you eat. You might find that just going through tracking your food, even you'll understand a little bit more about what sort of food you're eating. Maybe you're eating a fairly high carb diet, maybe you're eating quite a high fat diet. What is it that you can do to balance things out? All right, hopefully you enjoyed that one, and I will see you on the next course.